Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey swoop in to take number one. Sonic the Hedgehog and Fantasy Island at 15 or 2. Disney's going to launch you into space in the new Star Wars hotel. And the Oscars from Sunday. And they're just in the top 10. Let's go. Welcome back. Stone to Watch Weekend. Box office. Just dive right into it. Now, coming number one this weekend, debuting on the chart this week, we got Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. They're bringing $33 million for their weekend haul. It's their total domestic as of right now, and it's worldwide is sitting at $79.5 million. And coming in number two this week, we've got Bad Boys for Life. They're bringing $12 million for their weekend haul. They're down a little over 32% from last week. Their total domestic as of right now is $166.3 million, and it's worldwide is $336.3 million. And coming number three this week, we got 1917. They're bringing $9.2 million for their weekend haul. They're almost down 3% from last week. The total domestic right now is $132.7 million, and it's worldwide is sitting at $290.5 million. And coming in at number four, we've got Dolittle. They're bringing $6.5 million for their weekend haul. They're down almost 14% from last week. The total domestic as right now is $63.8 million, and it's worldwide is $160.7 million. And rounding out our top five, we got Jumanji. They're bringing $5.5 million for their weekend haul. They're down almost 8% from last week. Their total domestic as of right now is $298.4 million, and it's worldwide is sitting at $768.4 million. And coming at number six, we've got The Gentleman. They're bringing $4.2 million for their weekend haul. They're down almost 25% from last week. Their total domestic as of right now is $26.8 million, and its worldwide is $60.3 million. And coming at number seven, we've got Gretel and Hansel. They're bringing $3.5 million for their weekend haul. They're down almost 42% from last week. Their total domestic as of right now is $11.6 million, and its worldwide is sitting at $13.9 million. And coming at number eight, we've got Little Women. They're bringing $2.376 million for their weekend haul. They're down almost 23% from last week. Their total domestic as of right now is $102.7 million, and its worldwide is $177.2 million. And coming at number nine, we got Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. They're bringing $2.313 million for their weekend haul. They're down 28% from last week. Their total domestic as of right now is $510.6 million, and its worldwide is sitting at $1 billion. That's with a B. And rounding out our top 10, we've got Knives Out. They're bringing $2.2 million for their weekend haul. They're down almost 11% from last week. Their total domestic as of right now is $158.8 million, and its worldwide is sitting at $299.5 million. Well, that's something else. Like I called it. I said that if anybody knocks the Bad Boys out of top of the first one, it was going to be Birds of Prey. Now I'm hearing online and stuff like that today that they did not open to like the numbers that they wanted, but they are number one. So I mean, it is what it is. So we have to wait and see how that plays out in week two. See like how far down they drop, because usually they drop down like 40-50% going into week two. So if they drop down more than that, then that's not good. That's not good at all. So we have to wait and see how that plays out. And Star Wars is pretty much heading towards the bottom of the top 10 here in week 8. They're sitting at number 9, so I guess that is what it is at this point and what have you. Jumanji, that's still hanging in. They've been out for 9 weeks, but they're still in the top 5. So you got to give them credit for that. But they haven't. I mean, they're still sitting at like not even $800 million. So I have to wait and see how that goes. Dolittle, as far as like everybody's saying it, it's not doing well as far as like making money. They've been staying in the top 5 all this whole entire time. So that's something. They ain't making a lot of money, but they're staying in the top 5. You got to give them credit there. So I don't know. Did you see these movies in the top 10? Let me know in the comments down below. Now it's time for Stone to Watch 15 or 2. All right, let's just dive right into it. Coming number 1 this week, we've got Sonic the Hedgehog. Now they're calling it an action-adventure family sci-fi. Now, the description reads, after discovering a small, blue, fast hedgehog, a small-town police officer must help it defeat an evil genius who wants to do experiments on it. Now, this movie is being directed by Jeff Fowler, starring Jim Carrey, Ben Schwartz, James Marsden, and Neal McDonough, to name a few. Now, I just watched the trailer for this thing for the first time a few minutes ago, and you have to say it looks okay. So, I don't know. When I see it, if I see it, I'm going to say matinee. And matinee at the most, mainly because I'm cheap. Other than that, I guess it looks okay. I mean, there was a big, huge controversy and stuff like that when the first trailer dropped, that a bunch of people did some kind of stupid petition, whatever, to get it changed or whatnot, and then they go back and they redid a whole bunch of stuff, and this is what we got. So I don't know. I mean, it looks okay. It looks kind of funny and what have you. I'm leaning more towards the $2 range, to be quite honest with you. I mean, most I would pay would be matinee, but I'm leaning way more towards the $2. So, I don't know. Did you see the trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog? Check this movie out. Let me know in the comments down below. Now, coming in number 2 this week, we got Blumhouse Fantasy Island. Now, they're calling it adventure, comedy, horror. The description reads, a horror adaptation of the popular 70s TV show about the magical island resort. Now, this movie is being directed by Jeff Waldo, starring Lucy Hale, Maggie Q, Porta Doubleday, and Michael Rooker, to name a few. Now, I watched the trailer for this thing for the first time a few minutes ago, and I have to say, it looks pretty damn messed up. Now, there was a trailer before Bad Boys for Life that I saw a couple weeks ago, and it's a little bit different than the one I just watched a few minutes ago. I mean, more chopped up or something. I don't know. This movie still looks messed up no matter which trailer that you see. Now, I say it all the time, horror movies are not my thing, so when I see it, if I see it, that's if I see it. I'm going to say matinee the most, mainly because I'm cheap. But I don't know. It looks totally messed up. It's totally different than, like it says in the description, in the 70s TV show. I mean, it's a lot different than the show I remember watching as a kid. So I don't know. Did you see the trailer for Fantasy Island? Check this movie out. Let me know in the comments down below. Third on the list, we've got The Photograph. Now, they're calling it a drama romance. The description reads, a series of intertwined love stories set in the past and in the present. Now, this movie is directed by Stella Maggie, starring Lakeith Stanford, Issa Rae, Chelsea Parita, and Kevin Harrison Jr., to name a few. Now, I watched the trailer for this thing for the first time a few minutes ago, and I got to say, it looks okay. Now, I'm not going to rush out and go and see this opening weekend, so when I see it, if I see it, I'm going to say matinee and matinee at the most. It kind of reminds me of a Hallmark movie made on the big screen as far as I'm concerned, so I don't know. Did you see the trailer for The Photograph? If you want to check this movie out, let me know in the comments down below. Coming at number 4 this week, we've got Downhill. Now, they're calling it a comedy drama. Now, the description reads, barely escaping an avalanche during a family ski vacation in the Alps, a married couple is thrown into disarray as they are forced to reevaluate their lives and how they feel about each other. Now, this movie is being directed by Nat Faxon and Jim Rash, starring Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Will Ferrell, Miranda Otto, and Zoe Child, to name a few. Now, I watched the trailer for this thing for the first time a few minutes ago, and I gotta say, it looks pretty damn funny. Now, I doubt I'll go rush out and see this opening weekend and what have you. So when I see it, if I see it, I'm going to say it matinee and matinee at the most, mainly because I'm cheap. Other than that, it looks pretty damn funny. So, I mean, especially like the one part in the trailer, like they're trying to pick a ski run to go down and stuff like that. And Will Ferrell's like, well, they got to color this, but it really means this. And they're like, how do you know? I just know that there is a warning sign. Do not go down there. This guy obviously does not know what the hell he's talking about. Don't go. But if they did that, where would the movie be, right? So I don't know. It looks pretty damn funny. Again, I'm not going to rush out and go to see this opening weekend, but it does look funny. So I don't know. Did you see the trailer for Downhill? You want to check this movie out? Let me know in the comments down below. 5th on the list, we've got Ordinary Love. Now, they're calling it a drama romance. Now, the description reads, an extraordinary look at the lives of a middle-aged couple in the midst of the wife's breast cancer diagnosis. Now, this movie is being directed by Lisa Barros Desai, Glenn LeBurn, starring Liam Neeson, Leslie Manville, Amit Shah, and David Wilmot, to name a few. Now, I watched the trailer for the first time a few minutes ago, and I have to say this looks pretty damn good. I doubt I'll go rush out and see this opening weekend, what have you, but it does look pretty damn good. It kind of gets you where they kind of want to, as far as I think. So, I don't know. When I see it, if I see it, I'm going to say matinee at the most, mainly because I'm cheap. Now, in this movie, you watch this trailer, it makes you think. So, if you are married, you're going to look at this going, I don't know. So, I don't know. Again, I doubt I'll rush out and go see this opening weekend, what have you. So, I don't know. Did you see the trailer for The Ordinary Love? You can go check this movie out. Let me know in the comments down below. Coming at number 6 this week, we've got The Times of Bill Cunningham. Now, they're calling it a documentary. Now, the description reads, a new feature film documentary about the legendary New York Times photographer Bill Cunningham. Now, this being directed by Mark Bozak, starring Bill Cunningham. Now, I just watched the trailer for this thing for the first time a few minutes ago. I guess it looks kind of interesting, what have you. So I'm definitely not going to rush out and go to see this opening weekend. So when I see it, if I say it, I'm going to say matinee at the most. I'm leaning more towards maybe at home. That's just me. I mean, it looks okay, but I can't see myself paying theater price to see this at all. I mean, it looks interesting. It's like a lot of history in it and what have you. So I still can't see myself paying theater price for it. So I don't know. Did you see the trailer for The Times of Bill Cunningham? You want to check this thing out? Let me know in the comments down below. Lucky number 7 this week, we got What About Love? Now, they're calling it a drama romance. Now, the description reads, 2 young lovers change the lives of their parents forever when the parents learn from the joyful experience of their kids and allow themselves to, again, find their love. Now, this movie is being directed by Klaus Menzel, starring Sharon Stone, Ian Glenn, Andy Garcia, and Rosabelle Loretta Sellers, just to name a few. Now, I watched the trailer for this thing for the first time a few minutes ago, and I gotta say, it looks Looks okay. Looks like a Hallmark movie made on the big screen as far as I'm concerned. There seems to be a lot of them in the list this week, but it is the same week as Valentine's Day, so it kind of makes sense, right? So I don't know. I doubt I'm going to rush out and go see this opening weekend and what have you. So when I see it, if I see it, I'm going to say matinee and matinee at the most, mainly because I'm cheap. Other than that, it looks okay. I'd much rather see this at home and what have you, because my wife watches this Hallmark movie stuff like this all the damn time. So I'm definitely not going to rush out and go see this opening in the theaters. So I don't know. Did you see the trailer for What About Love? You want to check this movie out? Let me know in the comments down below. And coming at number 8 this week, we've got First Lady. Now, they're calling it a comedy romance. Now, the description reads, a woman not married to the president runs for First Lady, but she winds up getting a better proposal than she ever expected. First Lady is a classic romantic comedy with the backdrop of presidential politics and royal charm. Now, this movie is being directed by Nina May, starring Nancy Stafford, Corbin Benson, Stacey Dash, and Benjamin Dane. Now, I just watched the trailer for this thing for the first time a few minutes ago, and I have to say it looks okay. Now, I'm definitely not going to rush out and go to see this opening weekend and what have you. So when I see it, if I see it, I'm going to say matinee, and matinee at the most, mainly because I'm cheap. Other than that, it looks okay. It looks kind of funny, but I doubt I'm going to rush out and go to see this opening weekend. Or even in the theaters. I'm actually leaning more towards the $2 ones, to be quite honest with you. So I don't know. Did you see the trailer for First Lady? You want to check this movie out? Let me know in the comments down below. And finally this week, we've got Spy Intervention. Now, they're calling it an action-adventure comedy. Now, the description reads, when the world's greatest spy meets the woman of his dreams, he abandons his adventurous existence and settles into the security of suburbia. Now, this movie is being directed by Drew Myrina. Hope I don't butcher your name. Sorry, Poppy Del Levine, Drew Van Eckert, David Sheridan, and Blake Anderson, just to name a few. Now, I watched the trailer for this thing for the first time a few minutes ago, and I got to say this actually looks kind of stupid, to be quite honest with you. So I'm definitely not going to rush out and go to see this opening weekend. So when I say it, if I say it, I'm going to say matinee and matinee at the most, mainly because I won't pay any more than that. Other than that, I mean, it doesn't look, I guess, too terrible like that. It just seems kind of cheesy to me. It just looks cheesy. I'm sorry, it does. It just looks really cheesy. So, I don't know, did you see the trailer for Spy Intervention? You go check this movie out. Let me know in the comments down below. Disney's Star Wars Hotel launches you into space before check-in. Now, this story comes to us from Screen Rant. It says the upcoming Star Wars Hotel at Florida's Galaxy's Edge will blast fans into space before they check in, making for a fully immersed vacation. Disney's Star Wars Hotel launches guests into space before they check in. The legendary franchise 2 theme parks, Galaxy's Edge, haven't even been open a year yet, but so far both continue to offer enough Star Wars immersion for fans of all ages. Though the California-based Star Wars attraction was the first of its kind to open in May of 2019, at the moment, it's Florida-based attraction inside Disney's Hollywood Studios at the Walt Disney World Resort that is gaining considerable attention. Set to open in 2021 near the Florida park, Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser will be the first official Star Wars hotel. So far, it looks like it's going to allow for an experience unlike any other, and with the entire hotel marketed as a space cruise, from the moment fans set foot on the Star Cruiser, the world of Star Wars is open up to them. Although we've only been told little what lavish experience it offers, it definitely seems to tick all the right boxes in terms of the sort of adventure most Star Wars fans would want to take. From sleeping in the sort of cabins that one would expect on a spacecraft to being able to gaze at the limitless, expansive space, Star Cruiser has the potential to change what a film franchise means. Reading about what Disney has planned for Galactic Star Cruiser is one thing, but it doesn't really allow for the sort of insight into the new hotel that fans are after. Fortunately, Disney appears to understand fans' desire for the info on this latest Star Wars project. Thanks to a new video on Disney's Parks YouTube channel, we now have our most extensive look at and an explanation of the upcoming Galactic Star Cruiser. Without a doubt, one of the coolest aspects of the hotel that it strives to maintain the idea that guests are in space. And this even includes an entrance into a capsule that launches guests into space before they even check in for their stay. Previously reported, the Galactic Star Cruiser will offer guests a 2-night cruise through space that docks once on the planet of Batuu. Anyone who has ever been to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge or read about the attraction will know that Batuu is the planet on which Disney's Star Wars attraction can be found. While the attraction offers numerous highlights for guests, it's only one of the many immersed qualities available to guests of the Galactic Star Cruiser. It may be too early to say so, but based on what we've seen on the space cruise in the video, Disney may have outdone themselves. The idea that fans can spend their days inside an environment that is tailor-made to replicate the concept of space travel is unlike any other hotel anywhere else in the world. The price of the 2-night cruise will likely reflect this, but fans who have the time and the means, it's hard to think of a better Star Wars experience. Now here's a look at that video.
Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser is a completely new type of experience. For the first time, we're going to invite guests to become the hero of their own Star Wars adventure, and you can do it in whatever way you like. They will live aboard a starship for 2 days and 2 nights. When guests arrive at Walt Disney World, they will go to this terminal, think of it as a small private cruise terminal, if you will, and you and your family will then be ushered into a launch pod. And this is a small capsule where you will then simulate the experience of blasting off into space. There will be a window overhead until you eventually see our ship, the Halcyon, in the distance. When the doors of the launch pod open and you emerge into the atrium, everything in the spaceship wants to reinforce that feeling of you're on a star cruiser in a galaxy far, far away. The cabins are unlike any place you will have stayed before. These are cabins of a star cruiser. Cabins can sleep up to 5, though, so you've got the bunk beds that look not unlike what we've seen Chewie sleep in the movies. We've got that exclusive window that shows a view out into space. Guests will be invited to participate in a variety of activities. For the first time, both adults and kids alike will get to wield a lightsaber and face off against a training remote. Every guest will be invited to take a tour of the bridge of the ship. So this is where the navigation systems are, this is where the defense systems are, so that training that you do as part of your bridge tour ultimately pays off as part of this much bigger galactic Star Wars story that you're a part of. Guests will get to go on a planet excursion to the planet of Batuu to visit Blackspire Outpost, Galaxy's Edge. Guests will take an exclusive transport and they'll emerge straight out into the land. If you're a guest coming to Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser, you're going to be a part of a story and live out your own Star Wars experience.
Now that was one hell of a video that pretty much explains everything and stuff like that. Now I am looking so forward to this hotel. It is unreal. I just can't wait. I just can't wait. I mean, it's like almost a vacation that was just made for a Star Wars fan like myself. Now I heard somewhere and I read somewhere that they're also like you could like. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard and read somewhere that while you were sleeping or like during your activities aboard the Helson, I think that's how they say the name of the ship, and like you get attacked by pirates and you can get on gun turrets and what have you and fight them off. I don't know if that's true or not, but that would be pretty damn awesome if it is. I can't wait for that. This looks totally awesome. So I think if you're somebody who's claustrophobic, this may not be the vacation for you. So I don't know. It does look pretty damn awesome. So I don't know. Did you hear about this hotel that they're going to have at Disney World for Galaxy's Edge, where it's going to be kind of like going on a Star Cruise? What do you think? You looking forward to doing this? Let me know in the comments down below. I mean, have you been to Galaxy's Edge yet? I have not been to Galaxy's Edge myself. We are planning going to Disneyland before we go to Star Wars Celebration in August this year, so I'm looking so forward to going to Galaxy's Edge. I'm just hoping that I don't have to wait in like 10 hours worth of lines just to ride on 2 rides. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. So I don't know. Did you hear about this hotel? You looking forward to it? Let me know in the comments down below. Morbius movie reshoot set photos reveal more Spider-Man connections. Now, this story comes to us from Screen Rant, and it goes on to say, new photos from the set of Morbius reveal more details about the status of Tom Holland's Spider-Man during the time of Jared Leto's led movie. Set photos from Morbius reveals new narrative connections to Tom Holland's Spider-Man after Tom Hardy's successful Venom. Sony Pictures Entertainment continued to build their Marvel spin-off franchise with the upcoming project. Directed by Daniel Espinada, it'll star Jared Leto as Dr. Michael Morbius, a scientist who suffers from a rare blood disease who accidentally inflicts himself with vampirism. The first trailer for Morbius was released last month, giving fans their first look at the new spin-off. However, aside from debuting footage from the movie, it also confirmed it'll somehow factor Holland's web-slinging hero with a reference to Spider-Man, an image of the hero from Sam Raimi's trilogy, as it appeared in the Spider-Man PlayStation 4 video game, and an appearance from Vulture, Michael Keaton. This in turn also links it to the MCU. Now a new set images gives the public further information as to how Peter Parker will factor in the narrative. Morbius is currently doing some reshoots, and as part of the project's exterior filming, a New York bus with the advertisement from the Daily Bugle teasing about Spider-Man's disappearance has been spotted. The images were shared by a Twitter fan account with the handle of Morbius Updates. Since Sony's own interconnected film universe started taking shape, there has been confusion as to how it'll relate to Marvel Studios' Success film series. There were rumors that Holland was supposed to make a cameo in Venom, but obviously that didn't pan out. And unless he's confirmed for Morbius, these details don't necessarily confirm that he'll personally appear. If anything, this advertisement provides more information for Spider-Man Homecoming 3. The idea of a missing Spider-Man after being framed for the death of Mysterio, Jake Gyllenhaal's character, is an interesting premise for the trequel. It seems like the perfect opportunity to debut Kraven the Hunter in the narrative considering the circumstances. What makes this particular advertisement more interesting is the fact that the Morbius appears to be using the Raimi Daily Bugle logo. The MCU is also taking a crack at the news outlet headed by James Jonah Jameson, which incidentally is also played by J.K. Simmons, as debuted in the Spider-Man Far From Home mid-credits scene. However, instead of the traditional paper, its contemporary version takes advantage of the internet with Jameson reminiscence of the pundits that populate YouTube. Kevin Feige did say that despite Jameson reprising the role, this version was an entirely different character from its predecessor. The context of the placard, as well as the graffiti from the trailer, are all presumed to be referring to Holland's Spider-Man. Coupled with the Venture's appearance, it seems like a sure thing. However, using Raimi elements in the film may prove otherwise. Fans wrote off the first detail slip from Sony, but this new image might imply that these are intentional creative decisions. If that's the case, there might be more to the narrative Morbius than simply about Leto's character. Now, I have to say, this is interesting to say the least. Now, I thought that was the Vulture character from the Spider-Man Homecoming movie. So this article pretty much confirms it. So that's pretty damn cool so far, right? So, and then I thought that was kind of interesting if they were going to actually try to tie these into the MCU. And I was talking about that earlier today with my brother, and he hinted to the fact that maybe, just maybe, that was part of the deal that Disney and Sony had to hash out last summer. You know what I mean? Like that whole big thing that Spider-Man was about ready to leave the MCU, blah, 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 blah. And then at the last minute, they come up with this whole brand new deal. Now he's going to be in 2 more MCU movies. That'd be the Spider-Man Homecoming 3, and he's supposed to appear in one of the other MCU movies. Now, what if they're going to tie in this Tom Holland Spider-Man into these other movies like Venom and Morbius, what have you, which they've been hinting at for quite a while. So that'd be kind of interesting to see if they actually do that. I'm kind of hoping they do, because Tom Holland pretty much is my favorite Spider-Man out of all of them, to be quite honest with you. I mean, the Tobey Maguire one was pretty good, and I did like the Amazing Spider-Man movies too. I thought they were pretty good, even though I did like the second one more than everybody else did. I didn't think it was all that bad, but that's just me. But I don't know, this is very interesting to say the least. So, I don't know, did you hear about this news with the reshoots and possibly tying in more in the Spider-Man Homecoming from the MCU? What do you think? You think that's a good idea? Let me know in the comments down below. You think that this is like almost like a no-brainer that they should? It would kind of really help all their other Marvel-like type movies out. Let me know in the comments down below. I think this is a pretty good damn idea, so I don't know. What do you think? Let me know. The Oscars were last Sunday night. Now, I did not watch the original presentation as it was being aired. I was busy editing videos for the channel and what have you. But I did catch the highlights on Monday. So, which as far as I'm concerned is just as good, because like the rest of it's all kind of drawn out and it just lasts on forever. Sometimes I can watch that thing and sometimes I'm just not really in the mood. So, but anyway, the highlights are just as good. Now, Steve Martin and Chris Rock opened up the Oscars this year, and they came out and what have you. They were basically making a whole bunch of jokes and how like they both at one point hosted the Oscars, and this time they pretty much got demoted because all they really was good for was just to come out and just open up the Oscars and not actually get the job as a host. Now, like this year for the Oscars, they did not have a host like they didn't have one last year too, because of the whole controversy about, I think it was Kevin Hart was going to be last year, and then he said something on Twitter and everybody went all ape crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know. I kind of pay attention to that stuff. I mean, granted, I don't know. I kind of pay attention to stuff, but sometimes I don't. And so, but again, they didn't have a host again this year, so this is what we got. And from what I've heard, this was like the lowest rating they've had so far. But then again, you know, everybody made a big deal about it last year, how they didn't have a host, they weren't going to have a host. And I think last year did well because they kind of ran a little bit smooth, maybe because they tried harder because they knew they didn't have a host and what have you. But then this year, like they knew they weren't going to have a host. Maybe they sat back and they didn't try as hard, you know, and what have you. And then people like, okay, well, they did that last year. So you're going to try doing that again? I mean, it was kind of like, okay, the stick's over. Get somebody that actually hosts the show. So, I mean, I heard it went back and forth. Some people liked it. Some people don't. A lot of them, like, you know, didn't really care for it. They said it was a little disorganized and what have you. Again, I did not watch the show. I just catch the highlights, so it doesn't really matter which order they put shit in anyway for me. So, anyway, I did like it. And Steve Martin and Chris Rock were making a bunch of jokes about how they've hosted the show and now they're just, you know, glorified openers and what have you. And Chris Rock made a joke, you know, they mentioned, like, they pointed out Martin Scorsese. He said, hey, I like your first season of The Irishman, which is kind of funny because, like, when I was watching The Irishman myself, I actually watched it, like, 3 times, like, for 3, like, lunch periods, and what have you. It was, like, a half hour going in, like, over and over again, and then I ended up killing it the following weekend. But I was, like, watching it like it was, like, a half hour episodes because it was 3.5 hours long, you know. So, but anyway, I thought that was pretty funny. Okay, let's just get down to business here. Now, the awards went to, I don't know which order they were presented, because, again, I didn't watch it. Best Picture went to Parasite. So, Bong Joon-ho, that was his first Oscar of the night. Best Leading Actor went to Joaquin Phoenix for Joker. Best Leading Actress went to Renee Zellweger for Judy. Best Supporting Actor went to Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Best Supporting Actress was Laura Dern for Marriage Story. Still need to check that movie out. Best Animated Film went to Toy Story 4. Best Cinematography went to 1917, Roger Deakins. Best Costume Design went to Little Women, Jacqueline Duran. Best Directing, second one for Bong Joon. He got for Parasite. Best Documentary went to American Factory, Stephen Bogard and Julia and Jeff Richard. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Best Short Documentary, we got Learning to Skateboard in a War Zone by Carolyn DeSinger and Elena. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that. I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry. I would just totally butcher it. Best Film Editing, we got Ford v Ferrari. You got Michael McCluster and Andrew Wilson, I believe. And then third one for Parasite, we've got Best International Film. Best Hair and Makeup, goes to Bombshell, Kazuhiro Ann Morgan, and Vivian Baker. Best Musical Original Score goes to Joker. Hildur. I don't know how to say that last name, man. There's just no way I can. There's no. Sorry, man. Best Original Song is for Rocket Man. I'm Going to Love Me Again. Elton John does the music. It's pretty awesome. Best Production Design, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Barbara Ling. Best Short Film, Hair Love, Matthew A. Cherry and Karen Rupert. Best Short Film, Live Action, we got The Neighbors, The Window, Marshall Curry. Best Sound Editing, Ford v Ferrari, Donald Sylvester. Best Sound Mixing, 1917, Mark Taylor and Stuart Wilson. Best Visual Effects, Guillaume Ratchet and Greg Butler. Best Adapted Screenplay is Taika Waititi for Jojo Rabbit. And Best Original Screenplay goes to Bong Joon-ho. That's his fourth one of the night, kids. So, yeah, he got 4. And I was hearing, I believe it was yesterday online, it's saying that he almost tied Walt Disney, because I guess, and I don't remember what year it is, but Disney won 5 Oscars in one Oscars in one night. So he almost tied Disney, and just alone he set that record that, you know, I think this is the first foreign film to ever win Best Picture. So that's pretty damn pretty damn cool. I mean, what have you? I have yet to see it, and already they were talking on the way home today. They were talking online that they're going to possibly do a TV series on HBO with possibly Mark Ruffalo starring in it. Again, I have never seen this movie, so I have no idea what it's all about, to be quite honest with you. So, that's pretty amazing, man. So I don't know. Did you watch the Oscars? Again, I didn't watch the actual performances and stuff like that itself. I mean, I was doing other stuff, and I just like watching the highlights or whatever. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I never really watched it that much when I was a kid either. But, I mean, it is cool to find out who won and what have you in it. But, I don't know, there's a lot of like the speeches, get just all bogged down in either political BS or somebody's got some other kind of thing going on. Oh, and I did catch the Billie Eilish performance, and I believe her brother was playing piano of the yesterday and stuff like that. Now, everybody was making a big deal about it, what have you. Everybody was making a big deal about her and stuff like that. I mean, I'm still shocked that she's in the music business and she doesn't know who the hell that Van Halen is. I mean, that's just weird. Now, I'm not saying it. I mean, that's just weird. I mean, I know she's young and everything, but I know that's just weird. I mean, I wonder if she knew the Beatles, right? So, I mean, I'm just saying. So, but I mean, it was okay. It wasn't like the best version of the song I ever heard, and it wasn't like the worst version of the song I ever heard. So it was all right. I mean, nothing to write home about. I mean, that's just my opinion. So I don't know. Did you see it? What'd you think? Let me know in the comments down below. So I don't know. I mean, there was other than I guess Parasite taking 4 of the top 4 Oscars that really surprised everybody else. But pretty much everything else went like the way I kind of thought it did. I mean, I'm kind of shocked that Star Wars didn't win something, but I don't know. It is what it is. So I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Whew, I don't know, man. That's a one crazy top 10. Like again, I said I called it Birds of Prey take number 1. So you got to give them props for that. We'll have to wait to see how that plays out in week 2. 15-2. Sonic the Hedgehog. I guess that looks pretty damn good. I mean, all those people made that big ordeal about the way he looked and everything like that. I don't know if that really is going to improve the movie. I guess he looks like closer to like the video game or something. I'm not really sure exactly what they were bitching about, to be quite honest with you. I never played the game. So I got, it is what it is. Fantasy Island movie, that movie looks messed up, dude. That looks messed up. I mean, that is not the 70s show from TV. I mean, it's a totally different look at it. Actually, it kind of makes a lot of sense for them to do something like that, to be quite honest with you. That actually was quite fitting, to be really. I mean, I'm not really into horror movies, but that right there was like almost like a perfect fit, to be quite honest with you. The Photograph, that looks all right. I mean, it's like a Hallmark movie made on the big screen as far as I'm concerned. Downhill, that looks hilarious. I can't wait to see that one. I don't think I'll rush out and go see it opening weekend, but it does look funny. Ordinary Love, that looks like a tearjerker and stuff like that, so I'm not really sure about that one. The Bill Cunningham documentary, that's kind of interesting. Again, can't see myself really paying theater price for it. What About Love? Again, another Hallmark movie made on the big screen as far as I'm concerned. Same thing with First Lady. Spy Intervention. That movie just looks stupid. I mean, it just looks stupid. Sorry, man. I mean, it just does. Disney going to have that hotel where they're going to put you into space. That looks interesting to me. I'm waiting to see exactly really how that all plays out. I mean, I definitely want to do that. I don't think my wife would be all that crazy about that one, but I definitely want to go try that out. That would be just cool. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it just would be cool. Reshoots for Morbius, they're like more little hints whether or not if it's going to be hinting that they'll be tied to the MCU, or at least tied to the Tom Holland Spider-Man at the very least. So I have to wait and see how that all plays out. That's kind of interesting to see if that's what they're going to do, whether or not there's still a little bit of rumor he might actually pop up in Venom 2. So I have to wait and see how that goes. Maybe that was all part of the deal with Marvel and Disney and everything else. I have to wait and see how that goes. So I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below, man. See you next time. Peace. Make sure you click on that subscribe button so you can be notified every time I drop another video. Hey, while you're at it, check out one of my other movie review videos, or check out one of my drum cover videos. Give it a like, give it a share. Join in the discussion in the comments down below. Have a good day. Peace.